Felicia Sterling coming at you to give you an overview of the software that we have planned for the Disco project. We call this the Disco Cat. All right, so this group of circles is intended to explain what we're doing software wise. So we've got disco.coop. That's the website that you'll get to. Excuse me, if you go to disco.coop, it's also the domain name. And all of these other things that have a name dot, that is theoretically a domain name that you would be able to get to this software at for the Disco Co-op. So deck.disco.coop, stack.disco.coop, talk.disco.coop, etc. Some of these things may actually not be at those final domain names in the end, but that doesn't matter. They're still useful. Having these subdomains in the explanation is still useful in terms of helping you understand how all the pieces fit together. All right, so what we're working on right now are these two pieces, the deck and blocks. This is what we're working on with the Grant for the Web grant that is allowing us to create a tool for value flows tracking, which is basically, if you want to say it in sort of the lies to children simplified version, it's accounting for distributed cooperative organizations. And what that is, it's built on Commons Pub and Interledger. It will connect in with web monetization so that people who work in a content-oriented co-op can track how much money they're bringing into their co-op from their content, and it will also help the co-op to distribute the money within its cooperative, as well as distributing money or whatever other form of value from one co-op to another. So, for instance, Geeks Without Bounds is functioning as a disco when it works with disco.coop, the Disco Foundation, and Guerrilla Media Collective. So we have a disco together, which is made up of our individual discos. And each of our discos functions independently. So there's sort of two levels of this value flow software that function together and can talk to each other within deck.disco.coop. Blocks is a tool which is based off of Community Rule, which allows a new cooperative to figure out both its governance model and also its value flows model. So, are your pieces of work, are they widgets that you're getting paid for? Are they work hours that you're getting paid for? Is it a month that you're getting paid for? Maybe you're a monthly salary person, so for every month of work that you do, you get paid X amount. Or maybe there's something else, like within the Disco manifesto and Disco elements, there's a deep explanation of the different types of work: love work, care work, and livelihood work. And each of those get paid at different rates, and different time rates and different percentage rates of a block amount. So you can describe all of that, describe the equation of your value flows using blocks. Now, this is important. Remember, before I was talking about how there's both the disco that is a single cooperative, but then there's also the larger federation of discos. So you can do this for your individual group of, 2 to 20 people, but then you'll also want to use the blocks to help you put together the rules that are going to govern your work together with one or more other co-ops as you come together to work. All right, so the next thing is the floor. This is a directory page on disco.coop that allows you to find all the different educational resources. So we're using open source technology, like, for instance, the Semantic Wiki, in order to help you to learn how to use all of these pieces of software. We also have WordPress sites that are similar to the Commons Transition site that kind of takes you through lots of different case studies and shows you how everything works. So that stuff is all based off of content management systems like Drupal or Semantic Wiki or a WordPress site. And talk.disco.coop will be a public Lumio group. And then we have the stack. Now, the stack is the next thing that I am looking for funding for. This is all built inside of Nextcloud. We in the Disco Federation are currently using Nextcloud for not only our file sharing, similar to what you might do in Google Docs or Google Spreadsheets, but we're also looking to use it for more of the Nextcloud tools, like being able to have conversations in Nextcloud, being able to use Big Blue Button inside of Nextcloud for those larger group conversations. But we also want to write specific tools for the Disco that fit within Nextcloud. For instance, that deck, that lovely value flows software. So there's a bunch of things that you need to do in order to track the work. Either you need to track the number of widgets that people have done, or track the number of hours that they've worked, and keep track of was this work that they did love work, care work, or livelihood work? What project was it for, etc. So we want to build that software directly into Nextcloud. We don't want to write it and then make a plugin for Nextcloud. We actually want to build it straight into Nextcloud as one of the apps in Nextcloud, partially to encourage more people to use Nextcloud instead of closed source tools like Google, but also because we feel like this will make sure that all of the tools interoperate well. One of the things that we're also looking into is how are we going to be able to make that federated. So Geeks Without Bounds might have a Nextcloud instance, a stack instance, in which we're sharing all of our documents for our projects and our time tracking for our projects and who has been paid for what, all of that within Nextcloud. But now we're working in a federation with some other discos. We would like to be able to share just the information on the projects that we're doing jointly between our Nextcloud and their Nextcloud. So they can have on their Nextcloud instance access to all of the shared information between those two groups on the projects that we're doing together. If you're not familiar with Nextcloud, I highly recommend checking it out. So that is the super quick, super fast overview of software that we have planned. I could really go into a lot more detail of what all of these pieces are, but that should just give you the quick 30,000 foot view. and we'd love to know how you'd like to connect in with this. If you have other projects that are similar, I I don't want to use the word competing, but competing in this particular sense is good. I believe in, heterogeneous solutions to things, because that way we have a healthier and more robust software system, a better ecosystem. So if you're doing something that's not built on Nextcloud, maybe you're thinking about building something that doesn't use Commons Pub, let us know about it. But maybe you like what I'm talking about, and you'd actually like to see how something that you're working on for Nextcloud can plug in with these Disco ideas, and connect with what we want to do, both in terms of the federating side of things, or in terms of just making all these tools really work for distributed cooperative organizations. Reach out. Let's talk. Let's see how we can make tools for the future of work.